I'm an instructor with the MSCR fitness program, and this class is gentle yoga, and it is meant to be accessible to most populations. But that being said, always modify as needed based on your physical limitations, injuries, etc. So, all right, well, let's begin. We'll start up at the front of the mat, and as you stand here, we'll just take a moment to pay attention to how you stand. So we'll have feet straight ahead and parallel, about hip width apart, and a little bend in the knees as well. You'll hear me refer sometimes to the idea of having your weight balanced on your feet around the center of your foot. So imagine your foot having the center between the heel and the ball of the foot and the arch of the foot. And as you stand with a little bend in the knees, you want to feel like there's fairly even weight between the heel and the ball of the foot. And then hopefully as you stand, you can feel that the pelvis and the rib cage and head can be upright. That's called the core of your body, from the pelvis to the top, bottom of the pelvis to the top of the head. So you're standing with your weight balanced on your feet, your core upright, and then hopefully the arms can just relax down away from the ears, like they're resting on top of the rib cage, and the arm hopefully can comfortably hang down the side of your body. All right, just taking a couple balanced breaths there, and we'll now get ready to move toward the floor. And often it's easier to get down to the floor through a wide leg position than it is keeping your feet more narrow or parallel. So to do that, we're going to take the feet, step them apart to a wide leg stance. Often that'll mean a little wider than your mat. So be aware if you're on a slippery floor with socks, you might want to take that into consideration. All right, good. And as we transition to the floor through a wide leg stance, we're going to ask that we bend pretty much in the same way that we would want to bend if we were going to bend in a healthy way to lift something heavy, for instance. So on our way down, we'll make a few repetitions and we'll practice as we go down, imagining that there's a 30-pound rock sitting on the ground, and we want to lift that up and put it back down once before we actually go to the ground. But this will hopefully train us to bend in a way that our legs can get us to the floor in a safe, comfortable way. Now, feel free at any point to modify. If you can always have a chair next to you. And in the end, if it helps to get down to the floor by using a chair and coming down onto your knees, etc., you can always safely modify as needed. So here we are again. We've stepped to a wide leg stance. There's a little bend in the knees. Weight is balanced on the feet. Good. And I've had my hands behind the back just to get them out of the way for a moment. So we can think about how our knees and hips bend. So as you bend now, take the knees and start to move them forward a little bit. But check that they don't come in towards each other. So you're bending in a way that the knees aren't narrowing. They're staying wide. And as you bend, find your sitting bones at the bottom of your pelvis and give them a push back toward the wall behind you. That should help make a nice crisp bend at the hips. And remind the head to give a little press forward away from the sitting bone. So you're doing what we call extending your core, which helps to keep your spine nice and long as you come down. Now, weight is balanced on the feet. Press into your feet for a moment. So take your footprints and press them down. Feel how that involves a lot of leg strength. And now push the big core of your body back to upright. Let's do that one more time. Bending the knees forward. Pressing back through the sitting bones, creating a nice bend at the hips, and a little press through the head as well to help extend your core. Now hopefully that bend at the hips and knees hasn't had you bend in a way that you could reach down and safely grab a 30-pound rock. So imagine that, bringing the arms down with that bend at the knees and hips. That's hard leg work to hold that. Now find your feet again, press into your feet, and push your 30-pound rock right back upright, and then right back down. Bending at the knees and hips again, bringing the hands down, this time to the ground, and hopefully then, because we've bent in a nice strong way, we can put the hands on the ground and actually walk the feet back onto the mat behind you, back toward parallel to each other. And as you do that, give your hips a little lift up and back, away from the hands, into what's called the downward dog position. Lengthening your core, your spine again by pressing the sitting bones up away from the hands. All right, good. And then gently down to the knees, and we've made it to the floor. So from here, we'll go all the way down onto the ground to the front of the body. And this is our prone or face down orientation. And this is going to set up 3 positions that we'll do on our fronts here. The first is prone mountain, the second is locust, and the third is cobra. So from the floor, we're going to set up the prone mountain or the face down mountain position. Remember, standing upright at the front of your mat is called the mountain position. So to set that same position up essentially here on the floor, we're going to lift the head up and turn the face parallel to the floor. And then we can lift the shoulders up, put them at the side of the body, and lift the hands up and put them at the side of the body. And a little bend in the knees can bring the feet up. And then we'll flex the ankles so the feet are parallel to the wall behind you. Notice how much strength it takes at the front of the lower legs or the front of the shins to hold the ankle flexed like that. All right, so here we are in the face down mountain position or prone mountain. Press the front of the pelvis down into the floor. So imagine the pelvis and push down into the floor through the front of the pelvis and then lift the sternum up off the ground and then come down. And that's called the locust position. So pelvis presses down. Lifts up as you inhale up and exhale down. Good, inhale up again, pelvis pressing down, sternum lifting up and down. Good, and up and hold in locust, still holding the press to the pelvis, the strong lift of the sternum, noticing the lower to middle spine curving backwards slightly, and eventually even clearing the lowest ribs off the ground. And then come down. And then for cobra, bringing the hands up towards the chest. Good, middle fingers are straight ahead. A little spread to the fingers. Elbows can be out about 45 degrees away from the sides. Shoulder blades settle into their corners of the back. All right, good. And for cobra then, a press to the front of the pelvis. Now, even before we start, if putting your hands in this position is not comfortable for the wrists or shoulders or elbows, you could modify by taking your hands a little farther forward and a little wider. And starting in that arm position, and also if necessary, you can bring the whole forearm to the ground and do a somewhat more mild version of cobra. So, bringing the hands towards the chest or whatever other position of the arms you prefer. Press the pelvis down, press the hands down, and then come up into cobra, up and down. Good, 3 or 4 times. Pelvis pressing down, hands pressing down, coming up into cobra. And as you go up and down a few more times, check that as you come up into cobra, the elbows are staying a little bit broad and the shoulders are staying down away from the ears. Up and down. And also as you come up into cobra, you might notice a little bony knob at the very lower front of your pelvis called the pubic joint. You're tipping over that pivot point, but you're not actually lifting it. So the pelvis tips backwards, but it doesn't actually lift. And then a press to the hands in front of the pelvis to stabilize cobra. Good. And then come down. All right. From there, let's head over onto our backs. All right, good. So turn over onto the back here. For just a moment, taking a couple nice balanced breaths there on the back. We'll start in what we call the bridge position. And for bridge, you can take your feet, walk them up closer to your pelvis, so the heels are almost walking up toward the sitting bones or very close, whatever is reasonable for your knees and feet. All right, good. And arms could perhaps choose 1 or 2 positions. You could have your arms on the ground, from the elbows to the hands, or you can choose to bend the elbows if that works a little better for you, where the elbows are bent to the right angle, with the fingertips straight up, and a turning of the palm of the hands toward the head of the mat. All right, so here we're at the start of the bridge position. Find your feet again. Imagine the soles of the feet. Press the feet down into the floor again, just like you did in the standing position at the beginning of class. And then lift the pelvis up into bridge and down. Good. And up, pressing the feet down, lifting the pelvis all the way up to a straightness through the hips. And down, and up and hold and bridge. So again, you have a nice press continuing down into the feet, a lift to the front of the pelvis, straightening through the hips there and bridge. Hopefully noticing the muscles at the back of your thighs and pelvis, your butt and your hamstrings, working very strongly in bridge. All right, good. And then come down. All right, good. Now we'll take the right knee up toward the chest. If you do that just 2 or 3 times, what you want to feel happening, hopefully, is that as you lift your right foot and start bringing your knee up past the hip toward the chest, meaning to a less than 90-degree angle toward the chest, that when you do that, the pelvis actually tips a little and the lower back feels like it flattens on the floor. So what was an arch in the lower back is now flattened as the pelvis tips and the lower back does what we call flex. All right, good. So now that right foot is up, flex your ankle, and imagine now that the right foot is parallel to the wall at the end of your mat. And suddenly now that wall has come moving up against your foot. Take the right foot and just push the wall straight out, and then come back in. Good 3 or 4 times. Out and in. You got the direction to lift your upper body, so look out toward the wall. That's going to add abdominal strength here as you flex your spine, but feel free to avoid that if you need to for your neck or upper back. You can always leave the neck or upper back on the ground. We're just getting used to the idea of pushing strongly with the foot and then coming back in 3 or 4 times. All right, good. Back in and switch. Putting the right foot down. Just lift the left foot up a little bit. Let's just practice 3 or 4 times, bringing the knee up toward the chest. Hopefully feeling like the pelvis tips a little bit and the lower back flattens as you do that. 3 or 4 times, just getting used to that knee coming toward the chest, and hopefully feeling that the abdominal muscles become strong as you drive your knee toward the chest. Good. Now bring the knee up and hold, flex the ankle, and now sense that the foot is going to be parallel to the end wall. If you can, lift your upper body toward the legs like a little curl up. Take the left foot and push the wall straight out and come back in. So 4 or 5 times, pushing out, coming back in. And notice what's happening there as you push out. The hip, the knee, and the ankle are all straightening a little bit. And then the knee and hip are bending a lot as they come back in. They're pushing out and coming back in. Getting used to the idea also that the foot is like a pushing platform. You could make a strong push through the foot out and in. Good. Back down. Placing the feet back to bridge. Nice balance press to the feet. Lifting into bridge again. So we could perhaps call that the foot pushing the wall away from you position. Training the leg joints to flex as they come in or bend as they come in, and then to straighten as the foot is pushing strongly away from you. All right, good. The whole time in these movements, you might notice your abdominal muscles are being asked to build a lot of strength as you're holding the leg up toward the chest and the leg off the floor. All right, good. Now, take the right knee toward the chest again. Pelvis tips, lower back flattens, and then take the right foot up. This time, as though the foot was ready to hold the ceiling up instead of the wall at the end of your mat. And one of the big differences now is that the leg is much straighter when it's up in the air. But notice, it's not absolutely straight. There's some bend in the knee there, which increases the bend at the hip as well. So the foot's ready to hold the ceiling up with some bend in the knee and hip. All right, good. Now in this position, you have to imagine again that the ceiling is coming down toward your foot. But this time, you're not going to try to push the ceiling back up. You're just going to try to make your legs stable and strong to hold the ceiling right there where it is. So imagine the surface of your foot. If my hand was my foot here, and just push up into your foot solidly and strongly, like you're imagining the resistance of the ceiling on your foot, and you're pressing into your foot to make your own leg stable and strong. And you can lift up a little toward the leg, grab the back of your thigh, and bring your knee in closer to you. Shoulders are away from the ears. Plenty of bend in the elbows. Again, you can modify this by keeping your upper back on the ground if you need to. And then press into your foot. Solidly and strongly, maybe 40 pounds to press. Give a nice strong pull down on the leg with 40 pounds of pull. So now your foot is being pressed up into and your arms are giving it a resistance to work against. And then back down. Good. Right foot down. Left knee toward the chest. Left foot up to hold the ceiling up. Flexing that left ankle, dropping the foot from the ceiling by bending the knee a little bit. And then pressing the left foot, making that leg stable and strong. Can lift the upper body toward the leg, but you do not have to. Grab the back of the thigh, bring the knee in closer to you. And then with that knee in a little closer to you, press into your left foot again, solidly and strongly, like you can hold the ceiling up, and a nice pull down with the arms upon the leg. Good. And then back down. Good. Placing the feet in bridge, and a nice lift into bridge again. Feet pressing down, pelvis lifting up. All right, good. And then come down. Now, this time, both knees up past the hips. Pelvis again, hopefully tips. Lower back flattens. Abdominals are strong. And then, if you can, lift the upper body to look toward the feet. Imagine the wall coming at your right foot. Take the right foot and push the wall straight out. And then switch, alternating back and forth. Now, this is a much more difficult version here of what we did before because now both legs are off the ground and we have to hold them off the ground while making those pushes back and forth. All right, good. Back in, back to bridge, and lifting into bridge again. And come down. All right, how about a couple more movements here on our backs? The next thing we'll do, I'm going to turn sideways here so you can see me a little better. Is we'll be on our backs. We'll bring both feet up again, just like we did before. And now this time we'll imagine the side walls have come up against the knees. Take the knees and push the walls apart sideways. And then back in. Good, 3 or 4 times. Pushing the knees sideways and back in. So to do that, you're coming into a wide leg stance here, building strength down around the outsides of the hip. It's called hip abduction. The wide leg angle of the hips. Good. Press the knees apart and hold. See if you can flex your ankles here as well. Turn the soles of your feet parallel to the end wall. Lift up toward your feet. And then press into your feet soundly and strongly as though you could stop the end wall from moving at you again. Good. Back in. Back to bridge. And lift into bridge again. All right, good. And then come down. Both feet up again, as though you're ready to push the wall away from you. All right, now we will take this and turn it into a twist. Today we'll just do a few repetitions of this twist from side to side. So notice your thighs are pointed up here. Take the knees now to the left, which will bring both thighs sideways, and then to the right. Good. So 3 or 4 times, back and forth to each side. And in making this twist, challenge the hands, elbows, and shoulder blades all to stay on the ground. Even though the rib cage and the rest of the body are turning left to right. All right, to the left and hold. We'll just hold for a moment here. Try to feel that both hands, elbows, shoulder blades have stayed on the ground. There's a movement of the shoulder blades staying down toward the floor behind you, while the rest of the body is turned toward the side. Good, then over to the other side. Taking the legs over to the right, holding there for a moment, checking in with the arms. That the hands, elbows, and shoulder blades are still on the ground, even while holding the twist. Good, back to center. Back to bridge. A good press into the feet again, and lifting into bridge. Very good. And then come down. From there, let's let's turn back over onto our fronts. We'll repeat locust and cobra. And then from there, come up onto all fours. All right, good. So, prone mountain, the face is parallel to the floor. Shoulders at the sides, hands at the sides, feet are up and flexed, parallel to the wall behind you. This time when we hold locust, we're going to imagine that the wall is coming, moving at you behind your feet. We'll see if you can press into your feet again and make your legs solid and strong, as though they could stop the wall from moving at you. So for locust again, find the pelvis, press it down into the floor, and lift the sternum up and down. And up. And down. And up and hold in locust. Pelvis pressing down, sternum lifting up, and with a flexed ankle, see if you can press into your feet strongly and stop the back wall from moving at you. And then come down. And then one more time for cobras. Bringing the hands up towards the chest. Elbows out 45 degrees. This time I'll demonstrate a version where I keep my forearms on the ground. So press into the pelvis. In this case, I press to the forearms and lifting the sternum up and down. And up and down. Good, and up and hold in cobra. Nice press into the arms. Good, lift to the sternum up. And then come down. All right, good, and from here, bring the hands towards the chest. Coming back up to kneeling table. We're up on all fours. Very good. And while you're here, arms are out in front of the shoulders a little bit. Hips are back, essentially straight over the knees. Middle fingers are straight ahead. Elbows a touch broad. So instead of being here with locked elbows, the elbows are a little bit broad, challenging the strength in the arms. All right. And then from here, let's go back to downward dog again. And then we'll go up to an incline plane or push-up position one time, and then back to downward dog. Okay. If this is something that bothers your wrists, you can modify this, but use your judgment. Now, be very careful that you're not putting any pain in your wrists. All right, good. So lifting the knees up, back to downward dog. Do a nice down and forward press to the hands again. A nice up and backward press through the sitting bones in a way that lengthens the lower back as you do that. And then if it's possible, from here you're going to bring the shoulders forward, coming out toward the wrists. A little bend in the elbows and press into the hands and fronts of the feet again. And back to downward dog. Very good. And from here, we're going to walk back up to standing. We'll take the legs, walk them back wide like we came down in. The legs walk wider than the mat. The hands walk back towards the feet. Good. Then hopefully you can stand back up and step back to the front of the mat. All right, good. And now we'll go through one little series of standing positions. So we'll take the chair and we'll have an area for balance. You don't have to use the chair, but if you're all uncertain about balance or it helps you feel like you can have stability in your legs, feel free to grab a chair. All right, good. And we'll start in mountain position again, where the feet and legs are straight ahead. And then, again, using the chair for balance if you need to, keep the left foot straight ahead. I'll just step the right leg back to a sideways stance where the foot turns out about 45 degrees from straight ahead. So the foot isn't facing straight sideways, but it's less than straight sideways towards 45 degrees. All right, a little bend in the knees to help get your balance on your feet. All right, good. And then, remember the idea of the centers of your feet. Feel like there's balance happening at the centers of your feet. All right, good. Bring your hands together. We'll just get the sense that you're squaring up the front of your body toward the upper body toward the front of your mat. All right, good. We're just going to make a movement from this position here called the triangle position, where we'll start by saying, okay, find the centers of your feet and just press your feet down into the floor strongly. Of course, you've been working with feet a lot in the past half hour or so. So once again, find the soles of your feet, press them down, making the legs stable and strong. Good. Now, as you imagine a push off your back foot, guide the front knee straight ahead into what's called the warrior leg position, where the knee comes out just a touch past the ankle, and then you straighten back to the triangle leg position. Go down to warrior, back to triangle. And since the shoulder girdle and head are staying upright, we'll call it upright warrior and upright triangle. Good. Now come down to upright warrior and hold, always feeling free to use the chair to help you. And then while holding warrior, press into your feet strongly again. So the centers of the feet are pressing down, making the two legs stable and strong by pressing into your base. Good. And back up. Step back to the mountain position, and we'll do the second leg. So right leg can be straight ahead now, with the foot pointing forward. Left leg can step back, that same sideways stance of about 45 degrees or so. A little bend in the knees, that makes sure each of the knees aren't locked. And each knee is lined up with each foot. And then to give your hands a place to stay at rest, bring them together and just turn the shoulder girdle toward the front of the mat. If it's uncomfortable for the hands at all, you could always bring your hands to your hips or bring your hands out for balance, either way. All right, good. And now, find the soles of your feet, and with a little bend in the knees, just press down into the feet solidly and strongly. So you're using, once again, just the footprint on the floor to build strength in the legs. You might notice a lot of musculature way up in the thighs working strongly. Maybe even the abdominals are working as you press into your feet. All right, good. Now, as you push off the back foot, guide the front knee straight ahead to warrior again. Back up to triangle. Down to warrior. Back to triangle. And down to upright warrior again, holding an upright warrior. Always feel free to use the chair as needed. And a good press straight down into the feet there. Upright warrior, once again, to build strength in the legs. Good. I'll push back up. And a step back to mountain. All right. Hope you enjoyed the sequence. And namaste.